The intro of the movie is what I found hilarious because it's taking place at a beach and stuff, and then
it's like it's like Point Doom or something.
Yeah, and then just out of nowhere, like, okay, I guess like that's the location. It's now a school. Like where that happened, there was a beach, and now it's like underground now, and there's like a school on top. Welcome to another episode of Direct to Dumpster. It's the Drive-By Movies crew, and I am James.
My name is Blaise.
This week we are checking out
Evilspeak,
directed by Eric Weston, starring Clint Howard and Ron Stark. Evilspeak is definitely a movie I had never heard of. How did you find out about this movie, Blaise?
Like most of the movies here on Direct to Dumpster, I just look at Amazon Prime, and now that we've watched so many weird movies on here, we just get them straight recommended. Amazon cool. Prime is kind of our curator, and there's so many great, just kind of low quality, no one really, I mean, people know about it, but honestly, I haven't even heard anyone ever talk about Evilspeak, and I haven't heard anyone talk about Body Melt. Yeah. And these are films that I feel like, wow, I feel like a lot more people should be talking about these films. They're actually pretty interesting, and this is actually a delightful watch. Like, I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, I've never heard of this movie, and it's on that. It's 81, so it's like the tail. It was definitely shot like around the late 70s, and then by the time it gets to being made, it's the 80s. But it feels more like a 70s movie,
right? And Clint Howard is an actor. I feel like that everyone recognizes. The name might not ring a bell, but whether you've seen Austin Powers or what's it called? Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those are just the things that I remember him off the top of my head. He always plays very memorable roles. I remember.
Well, it appears to be in the shape of a big boy.
Good God.
And it's like cool to like see him in a lead role, and he's actually really fun to watch, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, he's like one of Hollywood's premier character actors. As you said, he appears in many things as this sort of character. He's just such got an interesting face to look at. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing, but he's also Ron Howard's brother. So he appears in a lot of Ron Howard movies.
Yeah. He's really good at just having a uncomfortable face throughout the movie, and it works because he's like the bullied character throughout the entire film as well. But he's like interested and excited about this like computer he finds and everything. It's just, and also just like the plot as well, like is very unusual for like a horror film. This is at the peak of when like slasher films are going to take over. Halloween had just come out. Like they're, like coming off of The Exorcist in the 70s, like that was still playing in theaters probably when this came out. But like, what kind of movie was this like to everything else? And it just seems so rare, and it's a gem that I feel that like I wish got a lot more recognition when it came out in 81.
And it's definitely something that doesn't shy away. Like at the time, I think the popularity, or it was probably the dawn. This was kind of the ending of those like demon type movies, and the dawn of the slasher was like about to happen after this movie, pretty much. So this movie kind of got swept under the rug with the dawn of the slasher, I would say. But it definitely takes a lot of those best things from like the horror movies of before in the 70s, like The Exorcist, as you mentioned, but utilizes modern technology at the time. There's an Apple II computer in this, and they utilize that, even though like technology wasn't totally there yet. As you see, this is just basically a monitor with a terminal that you could input code in,
and he doesn't really do anything too crazy with it also, where it's just like, that's stupid. Like he's literally mainly just using it as a translator, and then like he just uses that translator to summon this demon. But
I mean, it obviously doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and a lot of fear might be put on technology at that time. I don't really know what like the status of technology was to the modern man, but he transcribes this Book of the Devil. I think it's the Book of the Dead, correct?
Yeah.
So basically the plot is Clint Howard finds the Book of the Dead. There's this satanic cult that was basically utilizing this basement of the military school boarding school in which he attends.
But how did it get there?
I didn't realize
that. The intro of the movie is what I found hilarious because it's taking place at a beach and stuff, and then
it's like it's like Point Doom or something.
Yeah, and then just out of nowhere, like, okay, I guess like that's the location. It's now a school. Like where that happened, there was a beach, and now it's like underground now, and there's like a school on top of it.
I mean, it seems like it's shot in Malibu. Like some movies we've noticed lately, it seems like it's shot in Malibu. It seems like they just utilize Malibu, but they're at the school, there's no, besides palm trees, there's no like obvious, you know, as a viewer, you're not like, oh, is that the same beach from the beginning of the movie? Because they're not at the beach in the movie.
Right, yeah.
They're on like a hill.
Yeah.
So it doesn't totally make sense, but you know, my mind can make mental leaps and bounds when it comes to making a lot of these movies rational.
So getting back into the plot, Clint Howard plays Stanley Coopersmith, or Cooper Dick, as the head boy Bubba, played by Ron Stark, calls him. Ron Stark, also cool to see him. I've only seen him in that 70s show, and also actually Curb Your Enthusiasm as well. But it was just cool to see him in like a different role, and especially in a horror film. But yeah, poor little Stanley is bullied. Doesn't have any friends, but he finds this cute puppy in the movie. It's really cute, and he uses it for like a sacrificial ritual to bring out this demon. Like he just wants to see if it works. Essentially, it's just like a.
He doesn't use it to bring out the demon.
But also, he wants like.
He's He's definitely considering it.
Yeah.
But he loves this puppy. It's like the only thing that he loves.
Right.
Doesn't look like this little one's getting too much to eat. Oh, aren't you going to help it?
There's nothing I can do is going to help him. I tried everything.
Can I have him?
What are you going to do with him?
Keep him. Try to give him a chance.
Why don't you let nature take its course?
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this puppy's better off not making it. It's a tough world out there. You gotta be able to kick and scratch if you want to survive. I found that out right after my parents died. From what I can tell, like these other pups, it's the ones that can do the most pushing and shoving that get the biggest piece of the pie.
So the ritual leads though into this demon that, like, with the help from this computer, that's like where this like cybernet is coming from. He's able to bring out summon this demon, and it basically just comes down to the ending of the movie. It's just mainly him getting bullied the whole movie. He's like doing this ritual stuff, and like a lot of other things start happening, like where it's just pranks and stuff where he thinks it's working but it's not. But at the end it finally does come crashing down, and it does work, and they literally just call it the devil. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the devil has any name.
Satan.
Yeah.
They definitely
they say Satan.
They definitely say Satan multiple times. So it's, you know, Satan has kind of like manifested itself in this Apple II computer, and it kind of possesses Stanley towards the end, as we see, and he just goes on a rampage and starts just cutting people's heads off. This film was extremely graphic. Like, I was surprised. I'm like, oh, wow, it's a movie about a computer. I didn't expect it to go there.
The movie's like comedic for the most part throughout the entire movie. But then the ending finally is what, like, this is what everyone wanted to see the whole movie, and that's what makes it kind of feel satisfying. And like I left like, that felt good. That's what I needed to see.
Kind of. I mean, he gets revenge on everyone, but then also the demon, like he becomes a demon.
Yeah.
Like,
or Satan himself, yeah.
But I have
There's
to say,
no like payment or shit like that.
Yeah, it's Satan. It's Satan possesses him. But then like the one gripe I have about this movie is it literally just ends after the rampage, and I think it's one of the worst endings I've ever seen, because the film just ends. It's like they ran out of money. Like there's no resolution. It's like it doesn't even really show anything. It just goes to a black screen. There's some text on the screen, and then you see Stanley's face on the computer screen.
I forgot about that.
So you're just like, okay, wait, after you like killed all these people, I don't even know what happened. Did you just become part of the computer?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Until someone summons him from the computer again.
I mean, it's like a cool ending screen where it says Evilspeak across the end screen, like in like digital text coming from the computer. But the film literally just ends. Like, it just goes to a black screen, and then you're like, well, looking at a computer screen.
So you wanted some closure a little bit?
I mean, it's not all the time that I need closure, but this, you can't just like abruptly end, like just so abruptly where I don't even like, wait, what happened?
I feel like we've had that with a few of our movies on here though, where you're just like, what? Okay. Yeah. Like, especially like Gorgo, I remember just like, wait, that was it? Like, he literally just grabbed his son and then left, and that's it. Yeah.
At least it's like walking off into the sunset, right?
Oh, okay. That's true. Yeah.
Like, I need some, like, this just cut to black. Like, I think it just cut to black, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, though, there's a lot of scenes, like, I guess that were shot for this movie that no one will ever be able to see, though. It sucks. There was, like, one copy of it, and it's lost, and, oh, well. But maybe there was a different ending, though.
I mean, essentially, this bathtub death scene is, you know, somewhat iconic. never makes it to the film, or at least the cut that we've seen, and it's never going to make it to the film, which is interesting because there is like this scene with this girl in the shower, and I assume that's her death scene because that never even alludes or goes anywhere.
Right. Yeah, she just gets killed by the pigs, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, never mind then. Yeah. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah, but maybe it was a lot more violent previously, or maybe there's just a whole different bathtub scene. But
yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm assuming so. But one of the things with this movie is it was on the Video Nasties list. If you don't know anything about the Video Nasties list, I think we've reviewed a film that was also on there, another film, but this one was on Video Nasties, which is basically in the UK, they banned a ton of movies just off the top, anything with violence, gore, or extreme violence and gore. And this was one of them. So if you're in the UK, you couldn't view this film for the past, I don't know when the list like was pulled and they just let everything go, but there was probably 20 or 30 years where you guys couldn't watch any of the movies that were on that list. It was about 20 or 30 films, and this was one of them.
Bummer, because Clint Howard could have been a huge hit overseas. Oh well.
Could have had this burgeoning career. I mean, he is in Austin Powers, which is not really English, but you know,
that's true. Yeah,
but it is like a parody.
Yeah.
But you know, when it comes to this movie, I think it's like kind of been lost to time.
Yeah.
I think it's just that the time in which it came out, you know, it's before the slashers. It's at the tail end of like the 70s horror films that weren't quite realized, this being one of them. And it seems like everyone's kind of forgotten about it. And I don't think that's totally should be the case, because I feel like this was actually surprisingly pretty enjoyable.
Right. Yeah.
And I recommend anyone to check it out. You know, if you like older horror, this is definitely up there. This isn't Devil Dog, The Hound of Hell.
Right.
This is Evilspeak.
Highly recommend it. Like the poster art for it's really cool. Like add it to your collection. I think it's a fun Blu-ray watch if you come across it. Definitely bring that movie out of the dumpster.
That's going to wrap it up for this week, guys. We talked about the Clint Howard masterpiece, Evilspeak, from 1981. Go ahead and hit that like and also subscribe to get all of our latest videos. Anyways, guys, catch you next week with a new episode of Direct to Dumpster.